Last week you saw that the 240 wouldn't start. Brendan ended up ordering a new harness from Wiring Specialties. Colby's back from Vermont.
What's up, guys?
The stock harness, it's chopped and screwed like a rap song from the early 2000s.
This is the best example. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, don't with it.
The harness isn't all cleaned up and tucked away yet because we want to make sure that the car starts before we get into all of that. As you can see, it's a lot cleaner than the stock harness was in here, if you remember from the last video.
Oh, just like last week, huh?
I think it's an ECU.
Battery's dead.
It's gonna need ECU, I bet.
Yeah, $20 it doesn't start. It needs ECU probably.
He just went to go get his car to jump it because it's dead as hell, and I really hope that it doesn't need an ECU. You guys don't want to watch us around with a wiring harness for 3 weeks in a row, and we want to get out and beat the living hell out of this car and knock some tires off of it.
Okay.
This motor's locked up.
Shut down. Something's just not hooked up.
I think it's an ECU.
Fucking sucks. I'm not sure if this is gonna fix the no spark issue. I just hooked up the laptop to try to read my gauges, make sure ECU is communicating, and I wasn't getting communication from the ECU to the NEMU board. And I started looking at the Nismotronic setup, and since I got a new harness, I needed to take out some wiring for communication issues, which was 7, 14, and 15, which are kind of useless, so I just snipped them. And now fuel pump's turned on, and I guess we will see if we get spark now, if that fixes the issue.
And the gauges are registering now too.
The gauges weren't working, they're on now, and I'm getting communication, so let's hope we get spark now.
Spark.
Yeah.
Keep it going?
Yeah, we got spark, boys.
Let's go.
Oh. That's not talking about right there.
All it was 3 wires.
No, it was a harness issue, but I just didn't have this harness set up right. I need to put a spark plug back in cylinder 1 before we start it.
He's having a heart attack.
You ran around the whole building.
God. This has been a fight. I'm excited.
Well, that being said, we will see you guys March 28th at Club Loose in Englishtown, New Jersey. It's day 2. Sunday's run on pancakes and race cars. So we are here. Brendan is spending the first little bit of time cleaning the harness and everything all up so we can get the dash into the car. Then from there, everything's pretty simple to get back together. But once the dash goes in, he can get the glass back into the car. Once that's in, it's drivable. Brendan went ahead and zip tied a lot of this stuff up out of the way. Right now he's taking the cluster out. He's gonna drop the wheel. With the addition of the cage and the gussets, the dash is gonna need modified. Much like the door cards, he's trying to modify them as minimally as possible. A serious amount of time. It's probably gonna take us the rest of the day, honestly. Mock up what needs to happen with the dash and modify that to get it in here. To be honest with you, now that the car runs, that was the biggest headache. So he's probably gonna do a lot of the interior stuff this week, and I won't be here to film it. You're gonna miss that, but you'll see it when it gets back together. It's pretty minor stuff at this point. It's just the carpet, the seats, seat rails, seat belts, all of that stuff. He'll do it. You'll see it when it's done. Since you won't have to sit through all of that, that means we're closer closer and closer to actually driving the car. Club Loose Englishtown, the first round is 27 days from today. Has to get his truck back together, and he has to buy another trailer because, as you saw in last week's video, Jake came and bought that. Brendan's just figuring out where he needs to cut and how much he needs to cut to fit it in around the A-pillar gussets. Tell the nice folks at home what you're about to do.
We're gonna cut my stock S13 dash, make it ugly.
It's just like the door cards, it's just a lot of cut, check. So we have, I don't know, probably 40 minutes into it so far. It's a slow process, but he wants to keep the stock interior look and make it look as clean as possible. In doing so, it takes a little bit of time to get that right.
We found the cleanest way to get this clean is we put a sand disc on the Dremel really, and we just keep putting it in, sharpening where the cage wants to hit the dash here, and we're just taking really like an 1/8 inch at a time, but it's gonna be clean. It's just gonna take a lot more time, but who cares? It's gonna be worth it doing it this way. Fit superb. That's how we do things around here. Yikes. Yikes. I hate it.
With those vents being on either side of the dash, it was gonna make it a little easier once we got to them. It's been a slow going process because the whole way from here until we hit the top of the vent, we were only going like 1/8 or 1/4 inch at a time, checking it to the cage, pulling it back out and recutting it. So everything you guys are seeing is actually not nearly as much work as it's been. On the driver's side, which is the side I've been helping fit, all of this clears, it goes outside of the down bar from the cage. But on the passenger side where the glove box would go in here, this trim is a little bit wider, and you can see the wall comes down and then makes like a U up under the dash. So we have to cut a little bit more of that off just to get it in around the cage. So far, now that we're into the vent, all you really have to do is widen the vent a little bit on either side, and we're about 1 inch from being able to bolt it, 1 inch in depth from being able to bolt it into the dash of the car. As tedious as this is, I think it has to do with the fact that I work in precision fabrication and machining. I really enjoy doing stuff like this. It's not my car, it's Brendan's, so he's been doing the majority of the work. I've just been helping hold the dash up, fit it, say, hey, I think it needs trimmed here or there. It's stressful.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying it at all, but it just sucks seeing the stock dash being all cut up like this. I don't know, I think I'm gonna get overlay, carpet overlay, kind of hide this best as I can. We'll see what happens. I just want it in at this point.
I feel like all the videos that aren't pertaining to my car, you'll just see me standing around. It's like, what does Colby even do?
Nothing.
He's here for comic relief.
I'm still rubbing a little bit right here.
Needs a slight final adjustment right in here somewhere along the driver's side A-pillar. It's bolted in, but it kind of sticks up past where the glass is going to sit flush. That's a problem because when the glass goes in, the dash can't be contacting it.
I'm sitting here pretty upset with how this turned out. Irks me having those big gaps, so I just ordered a carpet overlay. It's only 40 bucks online. Fit to this dash, a black carpet, and I'm pretty much just gonna cut a little slit in the carpet, cut enough around the bar for it to sit, and it'll pretty much cover up all this junk. And this dash is just starting to crack. A black carpet overlay is gonna look good for this anyways. Simple.
You got seats and you can drive this. The glass is gonna get put in this week sometime.
It's been a lot of cutting and fitting and unfitting and pulling it out and cutting and fitting and unfitting and grinding and fitting, and it's just been miserable. Pretty much ready. Probably driving next week is kind of the goal. Been working on it too much and not enjoying it. I'm just ready to get back in the seat and actually enjoy this again.
And I know that you guys want to see driving content because everybody's sick of touching this thing at this point. At Horsepower Pizza on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything else. www.horsepowerandpizza.com. At _Lentz_ at Colby Favorin.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Keep your head down, keep your mouth shut.
Build it for you.